Good morning, YouTube. I'm Elisa Marine Designs. Nice to have you here. Welcome. If you're new, I hope you'll consider joining our little family. We're here this morning for some diamond painting. We're doing a whip and chat. So my work in progress is coming up. Get your work in progress out, or maybe you can just sit back and relax and listen to this like you would a podcast. That's what I do when I am putting YouTube on, which is on the background all the time. I have YouTube on and I'm listening to any one of the hundreds of subscribers that I listen to as a podcast. So you can do that too. But if you are part of the Drills and Chills community, welcome, because this is week 3. So let's get to it. Okay, we turn this around here, and this is my work in progress for Drills and Chills. This is my little girl here, Haunted, by Diamond Art Company. And I have to say that, I love this piece, okay? We're in week 3. I'm really taking my time on this. Usually this would be the only thing that I would be working on, but I am starting to give myself permission to move on to something instead of just like hunkering down and causing a lot of tension in my life to get something done when I have something else in the back of my head that I want to get started on. So I'm working on a few works in progress right now. But here's the funny thing. When I am done with my diamond painting, I'd like to clear my desk. I like to have everything neat and clean for the next day. And I hang this up. And I hang it up. I'm going to put a little picture down below. I hang it up with magnets on my filing cabinet. I work from home. So I was walking into the kitchen and passing my diamond art, and that always makes me smile to see this little witch, knowing that Halloween is right around the corner and she's going to go in my window. And I looked and I said, is that a wart on her nose? Or did I drop a drill? And, what's going on here? And I was like, I don't remember there being a wart on this beautiful face. This blemish here. And I pulled the picture up, and I'm going to pull it up for you now. And it's not there. So I found it amusing that they put it on the canvas. And I did take this off to make sure that I didn't make a mistake. And sure enough, it is there. And I'm thinking about it and thinking, see, here's a stray drill right here. And the reason why I am picking up stray drills is because these drills are so shiny. They are incredible. Diamond Art Club did such a wonderful job on these drills. Really gorgeous. Anyway, here's another one. See, when I shake my drills, I shake like a mad woman. So here's another stray one. And it didn't come off the canvas. It's just that it might have fell and I didn't see it because they're so shiny. And this was hanging up too. So anyway, I don't know what I'm going to do about this. I don't like tinkering with an artist rendition. If that's what the artist wanted, they wanted that there. But there's something about putting a blemish on beauty that I can do a whole dissertation on. And this is my witch, and I don't know that I want her to have that little mole there. It is cute. A wart. They could have gave her a beauty mark. That would have been sweet. Maybe I'll switch it out now that I'm thinking about it. What do you think? I think I'm going to put this on my community post and put a little vote on it, so you guys will get to vote on that. But I love her, and I was thinking about all the beautiful witches that I know of, either in print or TV, film. And I was thinking about, when we had our last discussion on week 2 with Drills and Chills, I think I was talking about a lot of the questions that Katie over at Diamonds and Washi was asking, and it was a tag, but there were so many questions. It would be I wouldn't do that to somebody else that I was listening to. Tag, here's 45 questions, answer them. So, and she did the same thing. She was just laughing along, And I remembered a few of her questions, and then I had a few of my own. So here's where we are with this canvas. And I am also giving myself permission to kind of jump around, not just start here and work left to right and then right to left and back again. And it's interesting too. I've been reading a lot of the boards on Drills and Chills and on Diamond Art Club's VIP room of how people diamond paint, especially when they're diamond painting squares. There seems to be a lot of different ways to diamond paint. Some people love the squares. I was totally intimidated by them. I now love them, but I will tell you, I did a baby snack first. So if you're, we're always looking to challenge ourselves, and maybe we go into something that's a little bit more confetti, or maybe a little bit more color blocking, and see if we enjoy that, or maybe a different genre. It's like, this is totally out of left field for me because I'm not a Halloween person, but I just loved this canvas and I went for it. So with the square drills, when I was ready to challenge myself and to have like a little bit more of a diverse medium to practice and to do diamond painting, I went for the squares. I was like, I'm ready, but I got a baby snack. And I got something with a lot of color blocking so that I could practice, and that happened to be the Wink, which is a black cat, and there's 9 colors, and I say that there's 6 because really 3 of the colors you only use like 1 or 2 square drills, and you're able to really practice your square drills. So if you're thinking about that, that's just a little tip out there. And I was going to start this square next. Oh, am I on this? Yeah. So I just got done this. I got done this. And this would have been next. I had this all cut and ready to go, but I didn't want to be leaning over my work. So I'm coming at it from the other end here. Oh, good. I got it all in there. Hopefully with enough room that I don't knock the camera over. It's always an adventure here. Yeah, so my refrigerator tapped out. Oh my God, what a nightmare. Anyway, I got these little nesting trays from Craftably, and I was so surprised that they're trays on the top and the bottom. I just thought it was, a tray and a lid, but you can put your diamond drills also. So instead of having 3 containers, you have 6. Love that. And I have my little, I picked these up. I went over to, we have a bookstore here in Philly called Garland of Letters, and there's everything that you can imagine in there, and they have these little areas where you can just pick up different type of gemstones that you gravitate towards, and I do. I mean, I gravitate towards all different kind of crystals and gemstones, and I couldn't tell you what these are, but I knew that when I held them that they were coming home with me, especially this beauty. So beautiful. So if anybody knows or has an idea when it takes a shot, I'm always interested at when you have a gravitational pull to crystals and gemstones, what their meaning is, and if that is what is going on in your life, and is it something that you need in your life right now, even if it's just a little reminder as they sit here as like makeshift cover minders for me. So what am I working with today? I am still working with the wax from Dreamers Design. Their wax, it's a purple wax, it's very juicy, and it's almost like a wax and a putty. It's very interesting. I absolutely love it, and I think I loaded that pen up like 2 days ago, and it's still going. And look how thick that is. That's not 2, that's 1. So you can basically just press your pen in there, and you're just one time, you're good to go. And I started yesterday. I know that I did the unboxing on Foxy Lady, and I used this pen all day yesterday for that, but I'm going to take it out now because I'm filming, and then, it's good to show people how to do this. So I just cleaned this out with my tweezer, my Diamond Art Club, very sharp surgical tweezers here. I do use putty too. I have the Quake putty that I use. I do use putty. Yesterday I was missing my putty. So it's not really sometimes about what works better. Sometimes you just miss it. And with the putty, I miss that sound that it makes when your drills are going down and they're, sucking up on the canvas. So I'm just pressing the end into the wax here. This one's been carved to death. And I'll run my finger along it, take the edging off. Sometimes I run my tweezer along it too. Oh, I think I'm remembering that this is a little loose. It's going to require washi tape, and I don't want to stop to do that. Okay, we'll see. All right, that's loaded up, ready to roll. This one too, I think I loaded this up last night. I'm just going to give it a little top off. I love these new placers also from Diamond Art Club. They're amazing. They're nice and thin, and it's not just about being thin. It's also about the way that they pick the drill up. Anybody can make a thin placer. That's not hard. But when you make it so that you're picking up the drill and they're aligned correctly, that's a game changer. So, and something else that I've been using too from Dreamer Design is this comes in their kit. It's a stylus with an AB drill point so that you can pick up your AB drills and not mark them up. They don't pull the wax out either. Oh, allergies are still killing me. So, I feel like bewitched with my nose twitching. There's a nice series to watch during Drills and Chills. Why not? I was thinking about, Drills and Chills week 2. I think I was talking about The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, which I think is on this week already. Like, everything is so early. I remember when we were kids, you had to wait till almost the week to watch your programs, but I guess they're on all the time now. And I was talking about Linus and waiting for the Great Pumpkin, and I was thinking of somebody on the Facebook page for Drills and Chills. We were talking about what we do when we're diamond painting alone. Well, I listen to YouTube, like I said in my intro. I listen to other diamond painters. I'll listen to motivational lectures. I do listen to audiobooks, but I find that, I have audiobooks because I fall asleep when I read. It has to be a really, I can't wait to get to know the characters and stuff because I'll just go to sleep. It has to be a really compelling book to get me to read. Yeah, my husband's an avid reader. He reads. He's always walking around with books, and we're so much alike. Even when I was a kid and school would, let out for the summer, I was the kid walking around with books. He always had books too. So he loves to read. I love to write. I walked around with composition books. He walked around with novels. Anyway, I was like, someone made a really nice list. So if you're interested, even if you're not into Drills and Chills, if you're interested, you can go on the Drills and Chills community Facebook page, and there's a really nice listing of books that people have read that they enjoyed listening to while they were diamond painting. So I was thinking of movies that maybe would fit the theme for Drills and Chills, and every year at least there's always a movie that I watch once a year. And I watch once a year, at least right near the Halloween holiday, I watch I Married a Witch from the 40s with Veronica Lake and Frederick Marsh and Susan Hayward. And this movie, I think, stands the test of time. You know, for the time and the photography and the little camera tricks. I think it still stands the test of time. And Veronica Lake is like, this little chickie here reminds me of Veronica Lake. She's just so beautiful, and she is putting a curse on Frederick Marsh because his ancestors burned her ancestors at the stake. It's a comedy. And she figures she wants to get back at him. And I think the original curse was... Oh, it's so funny that you can watch something every year and then still not, still forget stuff. The original curse was that the men fell in love with women that basically just gave them a hard time. But she says, well, I want him to fall in love with me because he's getting married. He's marrying Susan Hayward. I want him to fall in love with me, like to make him miserable. And I believe that this story also was an inspiration for Bewitched, and another movie too that I've never seen. I think it's called Bell, Book and Candle. That might be another witchcraft type movie. I can't think. Like, I remember as a kid watching. It's not really a witch movie, but The Ghost and Mrs. Muir. I used to love that because that was a series on TV where she was in the house and her husband was gone, but he was still in the house as a ghost. That was good. What else would be a good chill movie for, like we have, I don't want to do a big blockbuster movie. I like having something on that I don't have to pay full attention to, but still, I feel like I'm being kept company, and not just having something on in the background. That would be nice to have on. And now that I just thought of it, I was thinking I have to watch this, and I think it's on Prime Video. I'm gonna put the information down below so you know. But even that it was the inspiration for Bewitched. I haven't watched Bewitched in so long. That's another thing I used to love watching as a kid. And it came on when it was my bedtime. So I would sneak down the hallway and I would lay on the floor near the stairway and poke through the banister so that I could watch Bewitched. I'm sure my parents knew I was there. That's all I can really think about. I think that I'm really more... Halloween was never a big deal for me. And I lived in New York. And where my cafe was on Sullivan Street, the big Halloween party that goes on in New York came right down 6th Avenue. And so it was a big deal. I had people calling up and being like, I'm not coming to work today because I'm going to be at the parade. And people in New York, they go all out, not just for this parade, but New Yorkers go all out with decorating for Halloween. It's really phenomenal. I went out to Brooklyn one year for Halloween, and it was, oh my God. I thought we loved it here in Philly, but it's so amazing. We'll put a pumpkin out. They put dozens of pumpkins out on their steps, and the decorations are very elaborate, almost listen, it's New York. everything's big. I remember my first year in New York, I didn't even decorate for the first time for Halloween, for Christmas, because, you're so overwhelmed with being in New York and everything everywhere. I mean, there's just so much holiday going on that it's almost like, oh God, do I even need to decorate? I don't think so. You just go outside, open the window. I mean, I had a small apartment too, so, I had an apartment right above the cafe, and, tiny, tiny, tiny. But I was lucky that I had the cafe, because when I wanted to entertain people, I could have went down to the cafe, and I had a lot of room. So that was great about living in New York. I had a second spot. I had a business that I could entertain people. If I wanted to have a dinner party, it'd be like, yeah, I'm going to cook, but we're going to eat downstairs, because I just don't have the room up here. I mean, my bathroom was right off my kitchen. And, when I took a shower, I could have looked over West Houston Street. So, it was amazing, though. I wouldn't change it for anything. Great neighborhood, great people. I loved living in a tenement building. I met so many people. I had made so many friends, and they're still in my life today. And I just love that sense of community, because I did live originally in Battery Park City, but when I opened the cafe, I knew that I wanted to be closer to the business and not, travel. And it was a dream of mine to always live above. It was a dream of mine to always have a cafe, but it was always a dream of mine also to live above it, and that came true. So I took full advantage of that. And speaking about what's in the cup, I have a beautiful cup here, right? I have my beautiful cup. I just bought this, it's so sweet, but I have nothing in it because of the refrigerator. And I went out and bought all this stuff because I was talking about doing what's in the cup segments for those of you that have your coffee while we sit here and do our work in progress and chat. And I said, I have a few recipes that I think you guys can do at home very easily. And one of the things that I wanted to make first up was the pumpkin spice syrup that Starbucks makes. And, you'll be able to have that for your coffee. I have been using instant coffee. I can't believe it. Every time I say it, I swear a chill goes up my spine, because I'm such a coffee person, like fair trade and organic and all kinds of coffee. I mean, there's not one type of coffee I don't think I've not tried. All different cultures. I've tried them all. And not that there's anything wrong with freeze-dried coffee. I don't know why I've been such a snob towards it. I think because it's like a blast from the past, like it was something that my grandparents used, and so like maybe that's the stereotype that I have. But there's a lot of great freeze-dried coffees now. It's crazy, and I am drinking one now from Aldi. And it's pretty good. Everybody says Nescafe, and I went out and bought Nescafe. But the Aldi is just as good. Just as good. I wouldn't be able to tell the difference. And you can make Dalgona coffee with instant coffee, which I intend to do. I'm going to pick these tweezers up. I can't get my stylus in there. I put too many drills in there. Just for these few right here. So what else? I made lovely cold drinks that were just staples in the cafe. So that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to do something called What's in the Cup, give you guys the recipe, and you guys can try them at home for yourself, impress your friends,
especially if you have an espresso coffee machine. Oh my God, espresso makes great coffee drinks. But any home barista coffee machine that you have would work. I went to New York I didn't do San Gennaro this year. I did the one in Brooklyn, and they had a lovely shop with all these Italian imports, and they had the little Bilotti coffee pot that makes the espresso, but they had the one that was a pot, and it had two spouts, and it had shelves to put your espresso cup, so it would perk and then come up the spout and then pour it into your espresso cup. And I was like, oh, I want to get that, but we got all turned around with the bus leaving. We had the times wrong. People were in all different places, so I didn't want to walk around with this big box. I was intending on getting it before I left, and it just didn't work out. So they said they deliver. I have to get online now and order it because it's very sweet. It was a bright cherry red too. It was very, very classic red color that would look beautiful in my kitchen. I'm actually waiting right now for my refrigerator, if you can believe that. And my husband has a therapy appointment for his knee, and I was like, I have to sit down with this. It's going to be week 4. Drools and chills. I mean, I've been working on this, but I did put this away yesterday, and I started to work on Foxy Lady. Oh my God, there is so much color in this canvas. It's like therapy. It really is. It's like color therapy, and I really thought about that, like, having such a bright dose of color come into your eyes, and bright reds and oranges and yellows and greens and blues. I mean, it's uplifting, absolutely, to be looking at this canvas for the past, let me see, day and a half. I think I opened it up. I just wanted a change, because I actually did a video for this, and I was constantly interrupted, and of course we can splice and we can edit, but I just didn't like all the edits, and I was like, oh, forget it. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. So I was just like, I'm going to ditch this video. And it's so hard to do because, we do prepare for these videos at least a little bit. Like, I can't like read from a script, or I really never really know what I'm talking about, other than saying, hi, how are you? Welcome to my channel. I'm glad you're here, and I hope that you join our little family. I'm ad-libbing this whole thing as I go. I'm talking to you like I would talk to my girlfriends. What are you up to? What are you doing? What are you watching on TV? How you been? Did you go shopping? What did you get? You ready for fall? How are the kids? Hello. Oh my goodness, did you guys? I hope that caught him. Hi. Don't you jump up here. I got a cat. I needed this in my life. He's a love bug, though. And I know some of you guys are getting acclimated to getting your kids back to school. So, how's that going? The fall always reminds me. I know we've been talking about coffee and pumpkin spice and all that other stuff. And sweater weather. It's sweater weather. That skit from Saturday Night Live. It's weather. If you don't know it, you have to look it up. It'll make you laugh. But the fall always reminds me of book bags, and it was like my favorite time of the year. Like my son too. It was his favorite time of the year because you got to get all the school supplies and the new books and the pencils and the rulers and the, all the stuff. I would get my son June when he got out. I'd be like, give me the list, because I'm not going crazy in September. Give me the list. I want to be done. That's what the fall reminds me of. It reminds me of book bags and kids going back, and my son couldn't wait to put his uniform on, and you know, first grade when they get the uniform and they get the little tie and shoes and I have to take some of these out. It's driving me a little bonkers. He just couldn't wait, and I remember taking him to school the first day, and he was smiling from ear to ear. He had a new haircut and his book bag, and he wanted me to drop him off 2 blocks from the school. I said, no, I'm not dropping you off 2 blocks from the school. Don't just walk behind me. Don't let anybody see you. Oh my God. And then when I got there, other kids were screaming, they were throwing up. They didn't want to go to school, they didn't want to leave their mother. I did spy on him from afar, of course. What mother wouldn't, right? And so I'm staring at him from across the street. I'm hiding behind a car, and I'm just looking at him with his little book bag, and he's just standing up so straight, and he's looking around. He's not talking to anybody. He's just like, he was just so ready to be in school. So that was the only day. That was the only day. Every other day, I was pulling my hair out of my head. The novelty wore off real quick with my son. He hated it. What he thought it was going to be, I think maybe he thought he was going to the office with this suit on that he had, the uniform. But then they used to make them, I don't know if they still do this, they used to make them take everything home from their desk. I loved summer camp. My brother hated it. He stayed home. He hated it. He hated summer camp. I loved it. I loved being on that bus. Oh, when I would see that bus out front and I knew we were going somewhere, oh, forget it. Or the first of the month when they would give us a calendar of what the activities were and what we were doing and where we were going, I would run home and I would get my little highlighter and I would circle everything on that calendar of like where we were going, and you know, and I love these trips that were really far away too. Like if they were taking us somewhere that was like longer than 15 minutes. You know, I loved going on field trips. I loved treasure hunts. And I really don't even remember having friends at camp. I was pretty much just like my son, a loner, like always by myself. Just, you know, all about, you know, the activities, and I'm still pretty much like that. Like my husband worries that, you know, that I don't know, I think he thinks that I'm lonely, and I'm not. I love my own company. I love it. Sometimes when I get on the phone with friends, I can't wait to hang up. I'm like, oh my God, why did I pick up the phone? I love my friends, but sometimes it's a little much. And, you know, I love, you know, there's like this little saying, you'll probably catch it. If you don't know it, you'll probably see it sooner or later. And it's like, no one understands being at home, in your house, you know, watching TV and just being quiet. My son's like that now. He was living with a roommate, and I was thinking about selling my house, and he's like, Mom, I think I want to move in. I'm like, are you going to be okay by yourself? Which was such an odd question, but he's always lived with somebody. And he's like, I just want to be alone. I'm like so tired of like, you know, I go move in with a buddy and like I expect they're going to have girls over and whatever. He's like, but like company that doesn't leave. And he's like, I'm so over it, you know, I just want to be alone. And I'm like, oh, well, you know, you work hard, you want to come home, you want to relax, you want to do your own thing. So he's in my house now. I always thought though that I would be the one out of all my friends that would be like, single and having all my girlfriends live with me. I was like, we're all gonna live together. We're all gonna grow. We're gonna be like the Golden Girls. Do you think that that would happen today? Do you think that that's, you know, something that could happen, that we could, you know, be with our friends and live like that, and like one of us has their aging mother with them, and like we're just like having cheesecake in the middle of the night and talking about our problems? I don't know. I don't know. It's a wonderful thought. I would love to think that. Oh, I forgot to pick that one up. Would love to think that we'd have somebody. It makes me very sad when I see older people that are by themselves. I don't want that, you know. Before I got divorced and I was separated, and my son was living, I had just come home from New York. He moved to New York. My parents were living in another state, and I was in Philly, and you know, it was very isolating. My best friend had passed away, so it was very like isolating for me to not have a touchstone. And I used to be out of my house a lot. I was always out because I hated being home. Home was just memories, you know. And I just felt lonely. But I don't know. I think everything works out in the end the way it's supposed to work out. You know. I don't think anything was more isolating than COVID. That was terrible. Anyway, I don't want to get on that whole thing. It's over, it's done with, move on. But this is a great community. The diamond painting community is a great community. I am involved with other mediums, but I've never seen such a sense of community like diamond art painting. You know, everybody is so supportive. Like, this is the first Facebook page that I've been a part of, with Drills and Chills, and you know, everybody is like, you know, sharing their work, and they're very supportive, and giving people ideas, and helping people make decisions on what to do next, sharing tips. It's a great community. And we're always excited. I said, I'm not going to get caught up in buying a lot of supplies, and you know, I have a craft room full of art supplies. I have a craft room full of watercolors and watercolor crayons, and I have a rubber stamp collection that is like, oh, amazing. And you know, different papers, and I mean, what else? Paints. I have so many art books. And I was like, I'm not going to get carried away with this medium. I'm not going to have like a bunch of pens, but you know, as soon as I was able to, like, I think I have some like Apple Cash or Shop Cash for, you know, basic stuff that I've bought, and it's like, oh, okay. And like Drills and Chills had coupons, and that's another thing too. Like if you're not on the Drills and Chills on the YouTube or even on Facebook, there's a list of suppliers that have generously donated diamond art. Foofy, I'm telling you, don't even think about it. Get down, down, hey, down, down. Oh my goodness. Come on, down. No, no, down. Oh my God. He is number one, about 50 pounds. He's not even a cat, he's a dog. And he's a rescue. He was, the family had to give him up because their little girl was having respiratory difficulty. And my son was going to take him. You don't even think about it. And he wants to be like, he had a really difficult time. The family came and dropped him off. The husband was very upset. I was under the impression, just by the way he was acting, the husband, that the cat was his. He's now married. He has a child, and of course his child comes first. And she's having respiratory difficulty, and they have to get rid of the cat. Foofy, no, down. Good boy. And he is good. He listens, but he was having a really, really, really hard time. And all of a sudden, this week, he has adopted me. He's like, okay, you've shown yourself to be a good cat, mommy. You buy me treats. You comfort me. I think I'll adopt you. So he has adopted me. And my husband is just hysterical. He's like, can I have my wife back? When John comes home and he sits, we have the two recliners. And when John comes home and John sits in his recliner and I'm in mine, Foofy is usually to the right of me, but John's chair is to the left. So Foofy will now have to sit to the left of me, so he's a barrier between me and John. Yeah. He's like, this is my woman. And even John being home, John was home last week and John is home this week. Our birthdays, run into each other, and instead of taking off for my birthday a week and his birthday, we put it together through Labor Day. And so he's been home for a while, and like the Foofs is like, he's not loving it. He's like, we got a routine here, buddy. She gets up in the morning and it's all about me. Now you're bugging her with coffee and stuff and breakfast. It's been a while since I had an animal. So I got Foofy on about the same month that my little Yorkie died. And I really did not think ever I was getting it. I was like, I'm done. My little Yorkie Honor lived to 19 years old, and it just, it's like, well, you lived to 19, you gave him a great life. I did, but this was a companion. I was so lost. I had days where I just was like, oh, I did nothing but cry because I missed that little guy so much. He was such a big part of my life. And I never expected it. I just thought, well, 19, God bless. He lived a long life. He had a long life. And I gave him a good life. He traveled with me. But it's never enough time. It's never enough time. And I thought, I can't do this again. But I did, because I got Foof. I got Foof here. I got the Foofs here. This is a black one. In here. Oh, let me just leave it in there for next time. I'll get a little, I love the purple and the black together. And now I have a beautiful, this looks like a toasted pumpkin. I don't know if any of you guys have seen any of my new videos where I am unboxing and I am kidding off camera. Like, I'm not even showing you guys the drills because a lot of people get freaked out by the sound, and I didn't notice either that it kind of is a little unnerving for me because I'm looking at the drills and I'm trying to give you an accurate color, what I'm seeing, what you're seeing, what my camera's seeing, what the TV's seeing. You know, I just feel like I know a lot of people do conversions, and if they're doing it this way for a few times where I am, like, I kid it up off camera and then I gave you guys the number and I gave you the name, the actual DMC name, and showing it to you this way, and it's even a more pleasant sound. I'm starting to recognize a lot of the colors, and it's amazing to me how many colors are like in that are like almost like staples in every kit that I have. If you guys could just let me know like how you feel about that. I also videotaped myself kitting up that way. I was by myself and I just let the camera roll. And when I went back to watch it, it's very mesmerizing to watch someone work and, you know, hear these sounds of like scissors cutting the cellophane, the drills being poured into the jar, putting the labels on. It was I was starting to fall asleep, and I thought, oh wow, you know, should I post this? Should I set it to music? Should I just let it run as is? I don't know that much about ASMR, but I think ASMR is something totally different. Like, I see sometimes people use the keyword ASMR, but basically it's just sound. Like, when I look at ASMR videos, it's kind of like the person is it's like an interactive thing. Like, I'm like, how is putting on makeup ASMR? But it's they are all like, is it role playing? I don't think that's right either. It's kind of like, I'm going to put on your makeup and I'm coming up to the screen to put your makeup on and make sounds with the brushes, or sounds with my mouth, or if it's a lotion, like this, the sound of the tubing. It's very interesting, and I'm always interested in what allows people to relax, because this is definitely a meditative art form, absolutely. And so I'm always interested in the qualities that let people relax. I always put on like a sleep program at night through YouTube that allows me to fall asleep, whether it's just, you know, white noise, brown noise, pink noise, and there's all different colored noises now. That's another thing that I want to learn about, what these different colored noises are, and how they help people relax. I know that what had me relaxing on my video when I went back to watch it just to see what was going on and what it looked like, when I was having under a lot of stress when I was running my restaurant. I was there like 14 hours a day, and then there were certain days that I had to travel into New York for the New York restaurant. So I had the Philly restaurant and the New York restaurant. And I know that when my anxiety would hit that level where it was like, oh my God, you know, my heart would be pounding, I would feel very insecure, like I just had to feel grounded. It was like that free floating anxiety. I had to do things that were repetitive. I had to like open up the drop safe, take the drops out, start counting money, separate money, place the money all the right way, get it bank ready for the deposit, sort out the change. Like I had to put things in order, and that would like slow my brain down. And this is the same thing. Like, of course, everything is organized for us on the canvas. The picture is organized and the symbols are organized, but it's still chaos. You still have to match them to the right drill and create an order to this chaos. And so that becomes repetitive and calming, you know, where you really don't have to think about anything other than matching the drill to the color and placing it on the canvas, and you do this over. Another reason why I see a lot of people that struggle with anxiety, that do a lot of diamond painting. I'm also certified in Zentangle, and it was the repetitive patterns of creating those repetitive patterns. And I went out to Providence, Rhode Island, and I got myself certified. And you know, that's another form of meditative art that I can do when you can't diamond paint. It's a piece of paper and a pen, and if you want a pencil to shade, it's a very compact, very portable art, and it's very relaxing to the mind, especially if you do it at night before bed. You will, 15 minutes. It's so great for lowering your blood pressure and for slowing your breathing and calming down your nervous system. It's kind of like a yoga class, actually. And that's another thing that I practice. It's meditative. I practice yin yoga. I'm a yin yoga teacher. I do restorative. I do vinyasa. But I also do yin, and that's my favorite form of yoga, where it's all done on the floor, and it's holding postures, but not with any sort of force. So you're not, it's a passive pose. It's not an active pose. You don't pull your toes towards you. You just let the foot relax. I mean, I guess that's the best way I know how to explain it, because some of the active postures in yoga are passive in yin. They're very much like if you were to sit and extend your legs and bend forward in an active posture, you might put a strap around your feet and pull your toes towards you, whereas in yin you don't. You just allow yourself to ragdoll it and allow your body to open very slowly at its own pace, and your body learns how to trust you, and it will open. Your body does protect you from yourself. And so when the body realizes, oh, okay, this is a safe practice, I can let go, it will begin to open up on its own. So how many colors is this? We did the black, we did the purple, and I did this this looks like a fairy dust, this one here. It seems to have a little coating on it. Yep, Z3854, that's a little fairy dust right there. And then I love this burnt pumpkin. And we're at 55 minutes, friends. Wow. This is like a yoga class, because I used to talk for 90 minutes in yoga and talk to my students, but I would talk to what I saw, but all I'm seeing is, my own canvas here. So I'm going to continue for the next 5 minutes, and I hope you have a lovely day. I hope that you are enjoying this fall weather if you're exposed to it in your part of the hemisphere. And what do I always say? Create something beautiful and have a lovely day. Okay? And thanks for hanging with me and spending time with me. And let me know about, what did I ask you? The wart on the nose. Could we live together as Golden Girls? What's your favorite movie?
I gave you mine for Drills and Chills, and that's I Married a Witch. Oh God, I asked you guys something else. It's gone. You'll remember and you'll leave me a comment. Okay? Bye. Some music coming up. Bye. Enjoy your day.